Well, hello, integrated science students, and happy Wednesday to everybody. Hopefully, you're watching this on Wednesday. So, I'm going to call today the beginning of our next unit of study. So, we're going to call it quits on the nuclear energy unit, which went on for a few weeks, and hopefully, you learned a little bit there. And I know some of you still have some unfinished work there, and it's still there. The slides are still there, the notes are still there, all the forms labs, all that's still there. So I appreciate it. Some of you yesterday were making up some things, and you can send me an email if you want to, but you don't have to because I go back into Google Classroom periodically, and I just look and see who has submitted things. So I usually get alerted. Now, if it's been a few days and you don't think I noticed it, by all means, send me an email and say, hey, I did some work. Can you go in and look? So, and make sure you're hitting those submit buttons, because if you don't hit submit, then I don't really know that you did anything. Okay. So we're going to start a study of something called a solution. Okay, it's just a fancy name for a mixture, and you've used this word a lot. So when you mix up a solution of something, it's just two things that are mixed together, but they're mixed together so well that you can't really tell that they're two things. So one thing that's going to be helpful for us to understand solutions is for you to have a little mixture that we can use. So you're going to do a tiny little at-home lab, and I don't want to do too much lab work at home because I don't know what everybody's got. I mean, some people have stuff and some people don't. So I'm going to try to use something that I think everybody has. But if you can't do this, it's not the end of the world. But if you can, go ahead and do it. So I'm going to have you mix up a little saltwater solution, okay? So all you need is a little box of table salt. This is just regular box like you get. And it will be best to use like a clear container of some kind. I have this is a little glass dish. I don't want you to mix up a lot, because what we're going to do with this is we're going to mix it up, and we're going to stir it. I'm just going to use my finger to stir it because there's nothing dangerous about this. I'm going to stir it until the salt has all dissolved, and then I want you to let it sit somewhere kind of out of the way, open. Don't cover it, but leave it open so that it evaporates. Okay, because the important part is what we're going to see after the evaporation is done. Okay, so just to demonstrate here, I've got a little sink that I can use. So I'm going to show you this real little bit that I put in there. Okay, hardly any at all. All right, which means I don't want to use much salt either. Okay, so now if you think you use too much salt and like it doesn't dissolve, then all you got to do, well, there's a couple of things you can do. And I'm kind of giving too much away here, but in a solution, if you've got too much of what you're trying to dissolve, this is called the solute, and not enough of the solvent, that's what you're dissolving it into, then what you'll notice is you can't get it all to go away. Okay? So my goal is to have this completely clear, so I won't be able to tell that there's salt in there. Now I've got it looking pretty good. I still see a little bit in the bottom, but two things you can do. One is just add a little bit more water. No big deal. There we go. And then just keep stirring. The more you stir, the more it'll dissolve. Now there is a limit to how much can dissolve here, but I've got it, and you're not going to be able to see that with the camera. It kind of looks white, but it's not. It's good and clear. The other thing you can do is use warm water. Warm water will cause things to evaporate a little bit more, or to not evaporate, but to dissolve a little bit more. So so that little bit, I would think within a day or two, that's going to all be evaporated. Okay, so you can use any kind of container. It doesn't have to be glass. It can be plastic. But then what I would do is I would take a piece of paper and I would write like Jeff's Science Project and put it somewhere like out of the way on the counter. Don't put it somewhere where it could get tipped over and make a mess. And just put the container right on top of it and then leave it there. And at some point later on, I will go have you dig that thing out and take a look at it. And And it would also be helpful if you use a clean container when you do this. One of the rules for lab stuff is you never want to taste it, but I might actually have you do a little bit of tasting. So it's kind of gross that I use my finger, but I wash my hands. I've been washing my hands a lot, like once a week or something now because of this virus. So I know they're good and clean. So it'll be out of the way, and hopefully if you don't use too much, it'll evaporate in time for us to use it. So that's all I'm going to have you do today, okay? And then we'll probably get started tomorrow with a little set of notes. I did get some feedback from you. It seems like a lot of you don't like labs, but some of you don't mind the labs. If I can do a little bit of lab work without making it real heavy, I probably will, because I want to break it up a little bit. I just don't want it to be one Google form after another. Although the vast majority of you said what we're doing now is fine. I think it's pretty similar to what you're doing in most of your classes, and you're just kind of dealing with it. So that's good. I mean, it's good to be able to kind of adjust to something new, even if it's not the most fun or exciting thing. So, all right. I don't think there's much else going on. So if you're watching this early on Wednesday, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty good again today. A little cooler, but still a little bit of sunshine. So maybe get out and get some fresh air, take yourself for a walk, maybe take the dog for a walk, and do that while you can, because I think we're getting some more rain or cool weather coming in after that. Of course, because it's Dayton, Ohio. So, all right, I'll let you get started. Have yourselves a good day.